Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Today is the 22nd and 9th, 229th episode of the In Your Face show. And I'm here with a good guy, man, a great guy, the awesome Mr. Michael Bailey Smith. How you doing today, brother?
Good, sir. Hey,
All right, all
really,
right, all
really
right.
nice. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Huh?
I thank you for the intro. I appreciate that.
Well, got to get an intro to a legend, you know what I'm saying, in the business.
That's true. Thank you. I am getting old to be a legend.
Hey, man, hey, got to get where you got to get, man. You got to be who you are, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
oh, yeah.
agree. I agree.
And so, question, what I mean? What inspired you to become a movie star or just get into the movie business?
Yeah. So, you know, I posted something on Facebook just recently called "The Successful Failure," and
I
it's
saw
something
that.
that, yeah. So it's something that the president of the university at the time, she flew out to California and she knew what I was doing. And she flew out to California, wanted to meet me, and we were having lunch in Santa Monica. And while we were talking, and she looked at me and she goes, Michael, you're a successful failure. And I actually took offense to that a little bit. Uh, but then I thought about it later and understood what she meant. It meant that, you know, in life you're going to have a lot of no's and you're going to get some yeses, but you're going to keep getting no's, and the key is to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and keep pursuing it, and
Right.
eventually you'll get yeses, eventually you'll be successful. And so throughout my life it's been a roller coaster and a journey, and a good one, but also a lot of heartache and disappointment and things like that. But there's been a lot more highs and lows, and when it came to the acting thing, it happened by accident almost. I went with a friend of mine to an audition, a great friend named Steve Henneberry, who later became an American Gladiator. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to go up to Los Angeles to preview this movie called Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 5, being a bigger version of Freddy Krueger." And so I went up there and met they asked me if I wanted to audition. I said okay, and I could have said no, but I said yes, and I ended up getting it, and it just led to this career. And then the thing about it replaced, at the beginning, it replaced that excitement when I used to play football. When you're lining up against some guy who weighs 5 billion pounds and he says he's going to kill you, your mother, and your whole area and your brother, right? And if you were put a helmet on and played against tough dudes, you would know. And being on the spot and knowing that the play is getting called over your hole and you got to knock the crap out of this dude, you get 10 yards or 5 yards or a yard or whatever. um, Acting's a lot like that. When they call action, you have to deliver, you have to perform. And so that's what kind of attracted me to it. I love the pressure, um, and I love the challenge. I love doing things that are uh, that it's the road less traveled, right? And not a lot of people try. Well, I'll say a lot of people. The chances of you being successful in Hollywood and are slim, very slim. The same thing trying to get to the NFL, right? Same thing with anything that's hard. There's a lot of people going to try. A lot of people aren't going to be able to do it because either the one, they don't have the talent, or two, they just quit. So, but if you have a little bit of talent, and hard work always is without work talent any day. There's, there's the streets are lined with incredibly athletic, gifted athletes. Uh,
Mhm.
but what they didn't do is work hard. Take the advice from Kobe Bryant. Back in the day, as great as he was, before and after a game, he would go out and shoot 10,000 shots or whatever he did before a game and after a game. He was always working on his game. He never was satisfied. And so to play in the world where it's a rare and a rarefied air, a world where it's hard to be successful. You have to keep working hard at it, make it happen, and not give up. And that's what I've been lucky at, and that's what I like to do. I like to beat the odds, and
All right, right.
that's what I do.
I understand. I've seen some of your movies, man. You do great work, and one of my favorite movies was The Hills Have Eyes. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh man, this guy is scary. I would hate to see him in my fucking dreams.
Yeah,
And
that was
I'm
fun.
like, actually, that movie still gives me nightmares to this day.
Yeah, a
You
lot of
know,
people, a lot of people. So yeah, I was blessed for that, definitely for sure. Yeah, we it was a great experience. Got to work with some great people, and it was just really fun. It's not too often you
right,
get
right,
paid to destroy stuff and be crazy, you know, get paid for it.
right,
It's kind of nice.
right, right. So, being a filmmaker and a person that's in the industry, an actor, where do you feel that the industry has went? Did it? Do you think it evolved or devolved? Dissolved?
Well, there's a couple things, and this is pretty common knowledge. A couple things. They've definitely. I mean, have you noticed the box office uh, is struggling? They only right now. There's not a lot of original content out there. It's all it's established IP, meaning intellectual property, properties like all the superhero movies and things like that, or you take a video game and turn it into a movie. It's things that are recognizable and we get butts in the seats in the theater. So a new independent film is hard to get made, or if it's going to get made, then it's going to get put on like Netflix or whatever, right? Um,
Hmm.
and so I think that part Hollywood for original content has taken a hit to a certain extent. Now there's great content on TV now. They're on TV. There's great. I think Netflix and Amazon they have some great, and Apple they have some great original content as towards shows. But in movies that are in the theater, it's all IP pretty much. It's got to be the next Avengers, or I was in the new Fantastic Four. It's got to be that. All those things. So
Right,
um, that's where I see. And as an actor. Um, there is a lot of work out there, but it's still hard. It's not easy. And Hollywood itself, the location of Hollywood in Hollywood and in all of that Southern California area is diminished because the government at the time in the state of California kind of took it for granted and didn't appreciate what they had as towards the film industry, and so didn't supply a lot of benefits to filmmakers. And so what they did is they took their filmmaking elsewhere. They went to Atlanta, they go to North Carolina, they're going to New Orleans, they're taking a step overseas to where they are getting tax credits, and that helps them make their movie, right? The same thing as a business. If you're getting a ton of corporate tax in a certain state, you're going to move to make sure
right,
your company survives. The same thing with a movie. They're moving to go make a movie somewhere else because they want to be able to survive. They want to be able to make the movie and not and be successful. So I think that's where Hollywood has changed quite a bit. And also too from an audition perspective, or before you would have to you could go in and your first read or so you'd go in and meet the casting director or the director or producer. You'd always have in-person meetings, and now it's all done on tape. You could be anywhere in the world and be an actor now. And eventually you'll have to come to Hollywood and meet with the director or producers, but a lot of it's done on tape. So actors have lost the ability to go in, shake hands with somebody, establish that kind of presence, uh, and you kind of lost that a little bit. So that's unfortunate.
right, right, right. I feel you, man. When it comes to being in the industry, When it comes to being in the industry, do you get like worn out by doing it in the movies and stuff like that, and like playing your role and stuff like that? Do you get worn out within like having to retake constantly, constantly, constantly?
Oh, when you're doing a movie, you have to do another take. I like that. There's
Yeah,
that. It depends on the director. It also depends on you and your performance. If you can nail it first take, most directors will like, okay, we're moving on. Maybe they'll get like a safety, meaning they'll do another one, another take, just to make sure they got it. But yeah, and then there's other directors that like to do, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 takes on something just to get different variations. So they have a choice when they go and edit the movie. They have choices they can make. Oh, I like how we portrayed it this time compared to this time. So it gives them choice and better editing options. So, um, uh, yeah, but the key for an actor is, you're hired there to not waste their money and to deliver a performance. So if you come in there unprepared, you don't know your lines, or you're not prepared as a character, yeah, you're not going to last very long. So yeah,
awesome. I feel that. That's why it's always good to rehearse. So it's always good to know your lines when you get on stage, man. Because
yes, sir.
wow, oh my god, ooh, because I remember when I did my first rehearsal for a movie, man. It was hard. It was hard because I knew the words, but the way it was put, it's like it's kind of hard to really memorize it because the way the person wrote it, and you know what I'm saying, you have to say it the way they said it, the way they wrote it, and it's like jot by jot by jot, and I'm like, this don't sound right. This don't sound like, but you say it and then or you rehearse it, and you know what I'm saying, and it
Yeah,
sometimes you get jumbled up, and you know what I mean. But I
yeah,
understand, so I understand what you're talking about,
yeah,
man. It's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So what was it like playing Mr. Clean?
Yeah. So, I was the spokesmodel for Mr. Clean for about 6 months. Um, yeah, that was pretty cool. I have a picture of that somewhere I could show you. I think I can. But yeah, let me see. But I got done finishing a film, and it was overseas. And I remember getting off the plane, heading home, and my manager calls me and goes, "Hey, and I can show that. There's Mr. Clean.
I see it.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Clean. So that's a Daytona 500. So I said there's a commercial audition um, uh, for um, for Mr. Clean. I'm like, Mr. Clean, I'm not doing that. I'm an actor, whatever. And so my manager, just go. It'd be fun. They're going to pay you good money. So I went there. I threw on a white shirt and some jeans, and the moment I walked in there, they flipped out and said, "You're perfect," pretty much. And I got the role. And next thing you know, I was going around the country at events like race car shows, and I was at race car like Daytona 500 and a couple others, and I did auto shows and all that stuff. I did it for 6 months, so it was nice. They wanted me to stay on longer, but it's not what I wanted to do. But it was fun. It was fun. I can
Right,
say I
right,
was Mr.
right, right.
Clean. Yeah.
So I have a question. Right. So so have every person in the industry, have they ever told you you have to look
What kind of look? Just the
like
look?
the look of a villain or the look of a bad guy? Because I always get
Oh yeah.
told by one of my friends as actors, "Oh, you have to look, bro. Yo, you'll be great in a movie, man. You have to look of a villain or a bad guy." I mean, like, well, I gotta be a bad guy. I'm a naturally a good guy. I'm a great guy, man. You
no,
know.
I, no, I understand that. So when I first started acting, let me find if I can find a picture of that. When I first started acting, I had hair. Uh, Here is me in a movie I did right there with me with hair. So right there, see that one right there. And that was fine. I could play a bad guy, but the moment I shaved my head and looked like this dude, I got hired all the time. So, um, and so like the first 10 years of my career, I had hair and I worked quite a bit. But after I shaved my head for Charmed, I had to shave my head for Charmed I did that for 2 years, that show. Um, I just couldn't. I couldn't stop working. It was great. It was fantastic. So yeah, it was really cool.
That's
And
right. That's
yeah,
right. You
I have
know,
a bad. I drop my voice and talk like this, and I'm gonna kick your ass. Kind of situation. So that's what I do.
you know, when I first saw you on screen, I'm like, man, this guy is scary. Like, but it's crazy. A lot of people wouldn't notice you unless they seen you in a movie. And we're like, wow, I know that guy. He seen it on, and a lot of people came up to me and was like, "Yo, I saw that guy in the movie." Like, yeah, he's a great guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I that's why I get like, hey, we've met before. I'm like, probably not. I've never met you before. But and then like this one guy stopped by my house. It's like 6 months ago, whatever, and we were getting some carpet replaced in the house, and he came here to measure the carpet. And he stopped me, looked at me. He's like, hey, we met before. I'm like, no, I'm new to this area. I haven't, I don't know who. We haven't. And then he said, all right. And he kept looking at me and kept looking at me. And I says, yeah. I said, hey, I said, yeah, I was an actor in Hollywood for a while. And he goes, cool. He goes, you ever did a TV show called My Name is Earl? And I said, yeah, I did 4 episodes. He goes, I just saw that on TV last night. That's why I recognize you. So yeah, I'll get that. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's yeah. I watched some of the movies and some of the shows you was on. You was on Family Matters.
Yep. Played a character named Snap. Yeah. So it was kind of cool. Yeah, that was
You
good.
was on Undisputed, right, with Ving Rhames. You was on
Wesley Snipes. Yeah, it was good.
Hills Have
Yeah.
Eyes. Yeah, I saw a lot of movies that you was on, and I actually followed your career because I'm a fan, great big fan,
Thank you. Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, yes, sir,
I'm
sir,
blessed. I'm blessed. Thank you.
yes,
My
sir, yes,
mom is
sir.
as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, was there a specific moment of shift where you felt the industry had gone? You know what I mean?
What do you mean by it gone? Like changed?
Where, yeah, like where you think it's changed. You're like, where a shift, where like, man, they're not doing what they used to do when it
Yeah,
comes to doing movies.
yeah. So right now I don't. I'm not. I'm not doing. I'm not doing this full time like I was before, right? So I've stepped away from it, and I moved, and I'm in the tech world now. But since I left, the Hollywood has changed. It's started changing when I was leaving, but again, I think it's part of it. Like more auditions were being put on tape, and you didn't have to go in and meet the director or the casting director. So that was changing that way. And really, when COVID hit, that really changed a lot of different things. The way they did stuff like that. So um, yeah, I think that. But there's still creators out there. There's people still writing great screenplays. And I just had one of my screenplays optioned, and so yeah. Good, so yeah, it's changed, but Hollywood's going to be Hollywood, man. We're moving towards the streaming world. We've already moved there, but I think hopefully there'll always be theaters you can go to and sit in a big room with a bunch of other strangers in the middle of at night and in the dark and experience the same feelings and emotions. Nothing better than that, you know. Good stuff.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. You know, I know you're a very, very, very intelligent person.
I don't know about that, but okay, thanks.
how, how did the new introduction of new technology? How did it help you, or did it like basically have you like confused how to work with new technology and being in movies in doing movies?
No, actually, I mean, so there's a couple things actors have to worry about. One is AI when it comes to voices. There's programs like 11 Labs and things like that can like I use 11 Labs on some things for my wife's company, and like I cloned my voice, and I can use my voice to record dialogue, so it just makes it easier, right? That's one thing. And so actors, might be losing gigs because of that, but you know, nothing can nothing can replace the human voice and make it make it sound as natural and imperfect. And I think that's part of it, because when you and I are speaking, we don't speak perfectly, right? We pause, we ums and ahs, and we do all these things, and our inflections and our voices are all different and things like that. And AI, hasn't gotten to that point yet. So that's one thing. And then two, AI, when it comes to movie making, there are things that can be used that would be beneficial, but uh, there is nothing better than actors getting in a room or getting on a set and, you know, playing their parts, in a heightened experience, standing on a ledge, some make believe ledge, and believing that you're on a ledge and you're giving this really intense dialogue or something like that. There's nothing better as an actor to actually feel like you're in that moment and doing stuff like that. But um, the technology, I mean, like as towards editing, I think things have gotten better with editing, with visual effects and stuff like that. Definitely AI or technologies improved that quite a bit. If you look at, like, when I did a movie in 1994 called The Fantastic Four, where I played Ben Grimm, the Thing, uh, that technology, the visual effects aren't very good. But if you take that compared to what the new Fantastic Four, which I was in, and one that came out in July, the visual effects is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been, probably 30 years since that first time, but that's how much things have advanced in technology and stuff. So yeah, I think it for the most part it's gonna be good. But some things I think actors, creators in general have to watch out for. So yeah.
Right. 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 So, what are your top five movies that you've played in, and what are your top five movies that you really want to get into?
Oh sheesh. Movies top five. Hills of Eyes, uh, Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey, um, Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie called In Hell, another movie
Saw that one,
called,
but I'm like, yeah, I saw that one.
yeah. So another one is, of course, Undisputed, being raised Wesley Snipes. Uh, Gosh, let me think. Uh, there's been a ton of movies. Uh, Yeah, I don't know. That's top four. Movies I like, top four I like to get. I can tell you the one that I've always wanted. I always wanted to be a villain in a James Bond film. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So so
How come
that's
you never auditioned for it?
that's my I don't know, that's my manager and agent. That's their fault. I don't know. It's all
Hey,
good. The thing, you can only get the parts you audition for, right? So, and and a lot of these things are already spoken for before even it goes out to the regular actor. So yeah.
right, right, right,
Yeah.
right. So, do you think that CGI has made the film industry better? Or do you think it made it worse?
Well, like technology. So let's. I've been asked this question quite a bit, just in general. Let's look at, like, way back in the day, right? Way back in the day, there was no GPS, there was no nothing. They had some explorer looking up at the stars and looking at the sun, when it came up, and that guided their way to wherever they were going, right? So that's, there was no, and then after a while, maps came out, right? And then a map came out, or what's the thing that I forgot what it's called, like the sailors used to use back in the day when they traversed like big oceans. I don't know what it's called. They looked through a thing and they could see the stars and whatever. It helped them on their way. And then, you had a compass and you have maps, and that started helped you. And then from there, it moved to more advanced maps. Then it came to GPS, right? To where now you don't even have to think about direction. You just put in the address and it takes you there. Um, might make us a little dumber in some aspects, but that's how it is. So when it comes to technology in general, we're all advancing. using more. So I use AI all the time in my work. So for research and things like that, it cuts down the time. It would, for some of the things I do, it would take me a week to research everything I did, and I can do it in seconds. And it's a good thing to have things like AI and high tech for, like, imagine AI being used where it can basically um, aggregate all of the data from every research lab in the world that's trying to find the cure for cancer or something or other some kind of disease. And it finds it. It'll put all this stuff together, analyze it, whatever. It might take years and years and years and years to figure that out. But in AI, we'll get to the point where they'll just do it in seconds. They'll be able to figure it out. The cure for cancer, the cure for diseases, the cure for everything, period. That's what I would like to see. Use in a good way, right?
Did
So
you know that that you can actually 3D make food? They eat
make
it.
food in AI? No, I haven't heard that one yet. So
Yeah, I've saw it. I've seen it on YouTube. You can actually make it. You can actually 3D make food, like 3D print it, and then actually eat it. And you can actually build houses with it too.
yeah, I've seen that portion. It'll do that 3D printers and do that, but I don't know if I'd want to stay in one. But yeah, I don't know if I'm eating
Yeah.
one either. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like how technology has gone, man. Like that's wow. That's
Well, and we're just starting. I mean, this AI is still new. It's still very new. So, and it's clunky. It's not accurate, and it'll advance and get learn and learn and learn and learn. And the more data it gathers, and the more data that's inputted into to the systems, will learn and it'll get better. I've noticed, like, ChatGPT, when it first came out, it was just kind of a novelty, but now it's kind of gotten pretty good. And so it really has, and how it can do research and then provide the results to you in a, in an informative manner. But sometimes it makes mistakes, and so you got to know what you're talking about, because you can call it out and it'll say, hey, this is not right. Oh, sorry, I missed this part. Dude, really? You missed it? So yeah. So anyway.
yeah, that happens all the time when I'm writing something and it'll write something totally out of what what you didn't say or tell it to
Yeah,
do. And
yeah,
I'm like, oh
yeah,
God,
yeah,
did I have to write
yeah,
it back again? Did it do it again?
yeah.
Whew, it's annoying. But
Okay.
it's still learning. Do you use I know a couple of I say apps for AI like Grok.
Oh, that's just on X. I haven't used. I use it a little bit, but I use Chat GPT, and then I use another thing called GenSpark. GenSpark is good. GenSpark's good for me for work. So when I have to develop big spreadsheets and things like that of customer lists or channels and things like that, it'll find that for me pretty quickly. So
Okay, okay.
there was like
Spark.
this. There was a spreadsheet that had all this data on it just thrown in it, and I said, "Help me organize this spreadsheet." And I gave it some parameters. It did it in like 2 minutes. It would have taken me all day to do it, and it did it in 2 minutes. So that's the kind of things where I think AI is going to become very beneficial. It makes your work productivity, 10 times more, 100 times more. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's why, when it comes to AI, when it comes to CDI, a lot of it has its presence in some of the industries that we're in, like the media industry, the film industry. I
Music.
mean, a
I
lot of
mean, music.
people,
You can now create songs out of AI, which is, but there's nothing better than human experience,
yeah,
and and writing in a way like it writing or creating a song that actually means something, right? So
right. And
yeah.
that's why it's like, I've seen what people say when they say it doesn't have its presence, but that's for people that don't know what truly AI is for, And I tell people, make AI work for you and not against you. What I mean
Yeah.
by that is you can actually use AI as a tool as a way to help you become a better artist or a better film director or better film, filmmaker, or a
Yeah.
better actor or a better writer,
Yeah.
and you can actually, what I'm saying, it can actually help you. But a lot
Yep.
of people taking it wrong as, oh, it's doing this, it's doing that. Of course, just like as a lot of things have its bad, have its lows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like not everything is going to be perfect, but as it evolves, eventually they're going to have to hang on to it because you're going to get left behind.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
And it's just the way life goes. But I'm thankful to have you on the show, man. It was an awesome time to have you on the show because you're one of my favorite people to talk to. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite people
Thank you,
to
sir.
really
Appreciate
have
it.
that conversation with, man. You know what I mean? This is
Thank you.
doing this show live. Actually, for me, is therapeutic because it keeps the people in tune. It keeps the people coming in and out. Keeps the people loving it. You know what I'm saying? It's the energy that for me that brings the people.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And so, what is some motivational things that you would like to say to the people that's watching that is that's in the film industry that is just getting in there?
I think the first thing is don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. There are a lot of people that are afraid to ask, and then you let opportunities slip by. So and so there's one or two things are going to happen if you ask. If you ask, they're either going to say yes or they're going to say no, right? That's the bottom line. They're going to say those two things. Hey, do you think that, hey, I'd love to audition for this role. Nope. Sorry, we already booked it. Or maybe the next time or something like that, right? So uh so the first thing is don't be afraid to ask, period. Put yourself out there. Fight the fear, because fear is made up. It is. And unless you're facing a guillotine or some kind of buzzsaw, it's going to chop your head off, then that might be a little fearful. But,
Right,
something like this, just don't be afraid to ask. And then, two, understand that if you get a no, no just means not just yet. Okay. That's how you have to think about it, right? Not just yet. So just come back, be gracious, and come back 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 better each time. And you do that, you will finally get a yes.
right,
So
right,
if you don't keep trying, you're always going to fail. So that's
right,
what happens. And the other thing too is that you need to work on your craft. If you're a filmmaker, you need to be making. Nowadays, you can make a film on your, edit, do sound, everything on your phone. Buy some stuff, buy it, get on a computer, make your own stuff. There's ways of streaming nowadays, no matter all the different platforms. There's ways of you building a fan and an audience and a fan base and all those by the tools you have today. And so you can be a filmmaker if you want it bad enough, and just be creative. Same thing with being an actor. If you can't go join local theater, and do that. There's Go to a university and sign up for their film school as towards be an actor, and their the students who are studying to be a director or whatever, or a screenwriter. Um, so there's so many things you can do to keep yourself creative, to keep yourself you know moving forward. Those are like the big thing. And then the other thing too is that if you're asked to do something, just do a little bit, just do a little bit better than you're asked, right? If you're asked, doesn't matter what that principle goes with everything. Let's say that you get a job. Like I have two sons. My younger one got a job at a seasonal place. It was like for Halloween or something like that. He got a job, and I said, "Hey, put this theory to test." This is like his first job, um, between semesters, first kind of job that he got. And so I said, put this theory to test. It's what I've done my whole life. I said, if you're asked to do something, do it, but do a little bit more. Don't have to kiss ass. Just do a little bit more than you're asked, and watch what happens. And I said, and don't hang out with the guys that are going to be smoking pot in the back, in the alleyway in the back, in their time off. You could do that, some other time, not during work time. And what happened is within a couple of weeks, he got promoted to manager of the store because he did a little bit more than he was asked, right?
Basics, take the extra step.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah. Another thing too is that an adage that I say is, this works in business sometimes. What I say is I'd rather wait to get it right than rush it to get it wrong, right? And so
Right.
to me, that works. So those are the things that that have worked for me throughout my life. And then lastly is treat everybody like, as you would like to be treated, with grace, and kindness, and not everybody's going to be in their best mood all the time. If someone snaps at you, whatever, well, it's probably not because of you. It's probably because something is going on in their life, right? So there's going to be assholes, but if you let that affect you, then guess what? He accomplished his mission. He wanted you to feel bad too, right? So
That's right.
don't let that. So that's all. That's the kind of advice that I give people. I've been doing this a bit. I'm 68. Couple years I'll be 60. Couple years I'll be 70. Holy crap, that seems crazy. I cannot believe those two words or two letters, 6 and 8, are associated with my name right now. It just seems kind of weird. But I have the mind of a 20-year-old, the work ethic of a 20-year-old, and so I don't plan on retiring. I love working. I love making money. I love being successful, or at least working to be successful, and I'm not going to stop. And everybody can be successful if they want to be. Make a plan and freaking work your ass off to get to it. That's what you got to do.
It's the best way to be, work hard. Eventually going to pay off. Eventually going to get where you want to be. Eventually going to get where you need to be. And eventually, if you continue to put your best foot forward and continue to just be the best that you can be, you never know who's watching. That person that's watching will be able to take your the career and take it off to the next level. And that's just the way it happens. Life happens.
Another thing too is that I always say, try to have the holy shit factor in your life. So what does that mean? That means when you get done accomplishing something, you step back and you go, holy shit, that was freaking awesome. Or let's say that you go to a restaurant and you buy a meal, and you spend just a little bit more to get the nicer meal or whatever it is. You step back and say, holy shit, it was worth it, right? Or that is this thing is it's striving to be the best in whatever you do, and then stepping back and taking that into account and saying, holy shit, that was good. I did a good job on this. And it's a quiet acknowledgement, not something that you do out loud. You do it inside. It keeps you humble. But we're just, those kind of things. So that's it. That's my word of wisdom. Not much more. So
well, thank y'all for watching. It's been the In Your Face show, and it's been awesome day. It's been an awesome show, and it's been an awesome time being back. Until next time, peace.